Like, we all need object constancy. We need consistent way to try to develop and improve. I mean, your kids, it doesn't matter who it is. And I think, we're not giving these guys that opportunity now before the expectations get greater than what they've developed to.
Object constancy?
And you need a little of that too.
Hold on. I got a lot of object constancy. So that means like a goal, something to work for, strive for? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you got something here you got to get committed to, and you got to do the things you need to do process-wise to see it through and stay committed to it and all that. We get so outcome-oriented with some of these things, and then people are disappointed in the outcome, and then the next thing they want to transfer, they're doing something else. So they never learn how to stay committed to something, overcome adversity, have perseverance and resiliency. It's just something that the system is not really geared as much toward now as it used to be.
Object constancy. Let's go to the toxic table. We've been talking about object constancy since I couldn't even remember. Ty, go ahead, pal.
Yeah, I actually think that was maybe the first thing you brought up to me when I started working here, Pat. So it's crazy that it's come full circle like that. But speaking
you see that
of
object constancy, boys, we're trying to go ahead and do this thing the right way. That's what we're trying to do, Ty.
Coach, speaking of that whole conversation, I think it was yesterday, Brett Bielema said that he thinks the NCAA is going to start granting players 5 years worth of eligibility. Do you think, like in the grand scheme of things, for coaches and for players, does that ultimately matter? Do you think that will help maybe mitigate the volume of people we have in the transfer portal? So, when it comes to development and stuff like that, if these guys do have an extra year of eligibility, if they're just sitting behind someone, maybe they won't just decide, hey, I need to go somewhere else and play, and then they'll consider maybe staying where they are because they're not burning a year of eligibility anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't know that shorten a guy's career. I think the reason people are trying to extend their careers in college is if you were a college player and you didn't think you're going to make it in the NFL and you had the opportunity to make money in college, you'd want to play for as long as you could. No different than an NFL player want to play for as long as he can. But I really don't think that the 5-year thing is going to keep people from transferring. I think maybe we should come up with some parameters where a player has a responsibility and an obligation to, whether it's a contract or something. If you're going to pay players, we all get paid. We all have a responsibility to do certain things to get paid. But right now in college football, that's not really the case. You can pick up your bags and walk whenever you want, and you don't have any obligation. So there's no cause and effect for ever leaving the job that you have. And I think that's a lesson we all need to learn, from a responsibility and accountability standpoint. I made a commitment here. I've got to stay here for 2 years. I can only transfer once as an undergraduate. I can only transfer once as a graduate, whatever the rules might be. But there's some kind of responsibility that goes and accountability that goes with you're getting paid. You have an obligation to do certain things to get paid.
Yeah, we're about to get to CBA, I assume, a collective bargaining agreement between players and the college. It's all in front of us. We just have no idea when it's going to happen. A lot of things to get figured out. One thing that did get figured out is no longer 2 transfer portal windows. There's only one. It's in the middle of the playoffs still, which is going to be a huge conversation whenever we get there. Obviously, that's right around the corner. But there's only, 20 teams that have to worry about that, seemingly, year in, year out, for whenever you're talking about the playoffs. Everybody else voting on it. What are your thoughts on the one transfer portal and when it is now?
I think one transfer portal is probably a good thing. I think when you have your team in the spring, you go through spring practice, you go through the off-season program, then all of a sudden guys leave. It's not probably great for them in terms of the next place they go, and it's not great for you trying to manage a roster. So that's probably a good thing. But I think that we're forcing people in college to move more to the NFL model in terms of organization. Like you have a personnel department.
GM.
Yeah, like we had a GM, we had a personnel department. And I separated it from the portal to college recruiting. I had different guys over here evaluating guys in the portal. You had different guys over here evaluating guys, that were in high school. And then now you can send different people out to recruit them. It doesn't really have to just be the assistants. So you're actually expanding staff.
Operations
to be able to manage this kind of circumstance. So, for example, if you're in the playoffs, you want to have other people that are not focused on the playoffs. They're focused on recruiting. They're focused on guys in the portal so that you're recruiting those guys at the same time you're continuing to play.
It's going to be a lot of drama, always.
Always.
There's going to be what, five years of eligibility? That means there's going to be somebody that's going to somehow play for 10 teams.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I'm doing the math right.
Yeah.
That's going to end up happening.
That's crazy.
Well, what are you talking about? 10 teams, 10 opportunities, 5 years.
You know, I hate to bring this up because this is all about football, but, you know, every time you transfer, you got 20% less chance to graduate. So nobody ever talks about education anymore. And
What?
I do think that's important. I mean, what if you're a guy and you're making $700,000 a year playing college football,
Okay.
and you don't graduate, and you don't play in the NFL?
Well,
What kind of job are you getting when you get out of school?
Bartender.
Yeah,
Pay
world needs
somebody
plenty of
to
ditch
go-
diggers.
You're paying somebody to get the degree. You got $700,000. What are we talking about? So,
But that's not life-changing money. That doesn't last forever.
no, yeah, but I'm hiring a fleet of people to make me a doctor. You know, they're doing online classes. University of Phoenix, $700,000 should
Oh.
be able to acquire a team of people that can be Pat McAfee at the University of Phoenix and make me a doctor. I don't know if everybody's going to do that. That's in college football.
bad idea.
But I'm just pitching one idea.
That is a hell of an idea.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what they should do. But those guys are going to get another year of $700,000. And to your point about the 5 years of eligibility, that's definitely happening because coaches certainly would like a very experienced player to get another year, and players that aren't going to make the NFL would certainly like another year of eligibility of earning 6 figures to play football before they go join the CFL or the UFL.